Hello everybody, welcome from Hamburg to another edition of Transfermarkt International. Neymar stays where he is, so are Jerome Boateng and Christian Eriksen. But of course there were a couple of big signings on deadline day and we take a look at the latest deals or no deals. We start with Mauro Icardi, who finally got his will and got away from Inter Milan. Paris Saint-Germain acquired the services of the 26-year-old Argentine striker for a loan fee for one season of 5 million euros. After Romelu Lukaku signed with the Nerazzurri, Icardi enforced the transfer to PSG and finally got the call. Last season he had 11 goals in 29 Serie A and 4 goals in 6 Champions League games. Staying in Paris, it is no deal for Neymar. The 27-year-old Brazilian striker will wear the blue jersey of PSG instead of the Blaugrana from Barcelona. Both clubs couldn't agree on terms for a trade. Let's see how this works out. Neymar already stated he is pursuing legal actions through FIFA regulations to leave PSG next summer. Also off to Paris it is for Keylor Navas. Real Madrid and Costa Rica's goalkeeper joins PSG. Navas, at 32 years of age, signed on a transfer fee of 15 million euros and leaves the Spanish capital after 5 years and now is with the French capital. The 2014 World Cup hero played in 162 games for Real but lost his starting job to Thibaut Courtois in 2018. Real got a PSG keeper in return. Alfonso Areola joins the Royals on a one-year loan. He is 26 years old, has 3 caps for France and was PSG's #1 in the most League One games last season, while Gigi Buffon got the regular starter job in the Champions League. Speaking of loans, Eintracht Frankfurt now completely lost its last season's world-class striker trio. After Luka Jovic and Sebastian Haller, now Ante Rebic parts ways with Eintracht. He joins AC Milan on a 2-year loan worth 5 million euros for Frankfurt. The 25-year-old Croatian international has a market value of 14 million euros and has 13 scorer points in the last 29 Bundesliga games he played. And the deal was made possible because Milan, in return, sends André Silva, the 23-year-old Portuguese striker, to Frankfurt for 2 seasons on loan. Silva played on loan in 18 and 19 for Sevilla, scoring 9 goals and 2 assists in 27 La Liga games. The Portuguese originally joined Milan on a 38 million euro transfer fee from Porto in 2017. Another prominent striker that is changing teams is Falcao, who leaves Ligue 1. AS Monaco sends his 33-year-old Colombian striker to Galatasaray. No transfer fee is charged. This caused a massive euphoria with the Turkish side fans who expect a whole lot of goals of Falcao, who scored 15 in 33 League One games last season and a total of 83 in 146 appearances with the Monegassan team. The most expensive signing on deadline day occurred in France. Brazilian Rafinha signed with Stade Rennais for 21 million euros. The 22-year-old right wing joins for the next 4 years from Sporting Lisboa, where he recently recorded 2 goals in 4 Liga NOS games this season with the Lions. That leads us to a list of the last most expensive deadline day spendings. We start with Sadio Mane, who joined Southampton for 23 million euros in 14-15. Martial, 60 million. Sissoko, 35 million. Kylian Mbappé with Paris Saint-Germain, 45 million. Dembélé, 22 million last year with Olympique Lyon. And Rafinha, now in 1920, joins Stade Rennais for 21 million euros. A very promising and prominent signing in the Bundesliga is Patrik Schick, who comes into RB Leipzig. The 23-year-old Czech striker joins on a 1-year loan with a 3.5 million euro fee from AS Rome. He is a possible future replacement for Timo Werner, who is set to leave Leipzig next summer. So Leipzig has a buying option for the Czech player, who scored in 24 Serie A games last season 3 times, mostly as a substitute player. Schick's move to RB Leipzig leaving Roma set up a kind of chain reaction, a domino effect involving the Giallo Rosso. It started with Roma signing Nikola Kalinic from Atletico Madrid. Schick goes to RB Leipzig. Leipzig's Jean-Kevin Augustin now is with AS Monaco. Falcao from Monaco to Galatasaray, and Mbaye Ndiaye on loan from Galatasaray to Club Brugge in Belgium. Also off to Roma, it is for Henrik Mkhitaryan. Arsenal London sends its offensive midfielder on a one-year loan journey into Italy's capital. The Armenian international at the age of 30 only played 111 minutes in the Gunners' first 3 league games of the season. Roma has a buying option for the former Manchester United and Borussia Dortmund star. There are more Bundesliga signings apart from André Silva and Patrick Schick that happened and came slightly surprisingly. First, Vincenzo Griffo left Hoffenheim to join former club SC Freiburg. The services for the 26-year-old Italian-German striker are worth 7 million euros to Freiburg, where he spent the last season on loan. Secondly, Werder Bremen came through in signing a favorite of coach Florian Kohfeldt, Leonardo Bittencourt, coming in on a one-year loan from Hoffenheim. He then will join the northern team with a signing fee of 7 million euros after this season. The only exit scenario for Bremen not signing Bittencourt would be if Bremen is relegated. And the last one, finally, Darius Wolf left Dortmund for Berlin on a loan transfer. The 24-year-old receives more playing time with Hertha compared to the star-studded squad of Borussia Dortmund. And if the 1920 campaign is a little better for him, Hertha has a buying option to sign him permanently. Not leaving the Bundesliga is Jerome Boateng. Juventus Turin, after the injury of Giorgio Chiellini, was desperately seeking a world-class replacement. Bayern central defender Boateng says he stays in Munich. The 31-year-old world champion has 2 years left in his contract and right now is only third choice in Robert Kovac's squad, being left out in the first 3 league games of the season. As you can see, many loanees in this summer's transfer window. That brings us to a look at the top 5 according to their market value at time of loan. Nicolo Barella starts from Cagliari, going to Inter Milan for 36 million euros. Ante Rebic, 40 million euros worth, going from Frankfurt to AC Milan on number 3. Giovanni Lo Celso from Real Betis Sevilla to Tottenham, 50 million euros in market value. Number 2, Mauro Icardi joining Paris Saint-Germain on loan from Inter Milan. His market value 80 million euros. And number 1, of course, Philippe Coutinho, 19 million euros worth, going from Barcelona on loan to Bayern Munich. Deadline day 2019 is history, and we now take a look into the spendings that the big leagues had and ranking them down from 5 to 1 or from 1 to 5, as we see here. The expenditures of the Premier League, 1.55 billion euros, followed by La Liga, Serie A in 3rd, Bundesliga in 4th, and Ligue 1 in 5th place. Interestingly, Ligue 1 made more income, 834 million euros, than spendings, which is the only top league that has such a good revenue share. And the income in the Premier League, of course, is the lowest compared to the expenditures. Highest transfer expenditures by teams. Real Madrid on top, 308 million euros, mainly for Eden Hazard and Luka Jovic. Barcelona signing Griezmann, 255 million euros. And Atletico Madrid, who gained a whole lot during this transfer window, as we see on the next one here, is 3rd in spendings. Now the income, and there you see Atletico Madrid, number 1, 313 million euros, basically for Griezmann and also Lucas Hernandez, the main forces. And that number, Ajax Amsterdam, having lost a couple of key players, 206 million euros in income. Juventus Turin, 202 million euros. And in the end, number 5, Barcelona. Even though deadline day is just barely gone, we have the first rumors and we take a look at them in the rumor mill. Tottenham's Christian Eriksen didn't get his will to join either Real or, more favorable, Barcelona in this summer's transfer window. Now it seems that the 27-year-old Danish international, whose contract at White Hart Lane ends next summer, is also subject of interest with Manchester United. After a very mediocre start into the season, the Red Devils are looking into changes in their midfield, with Eriksen being one of the options even in the winter transfer window. This would, of course, generate a transfer fee for Tottenham, which is also probably favorable for the Spurs. Chelsea's Willian only saw limited action in the Blues' first 3 games of the season. This aroused the interest of Juventus Turin, who, according to Tuttosport and Calciomercato, is interested in signing the 31-year-old Brazilian international, who plays both wings and central offense. Williams' contract at Stamford Bridge ends next summer after 6 years with Chelsea. The Brazilian stalled latest talks with Chelsea about prolonging that contract. Jadon Sancho at the moment is the most valuable player in the German Bundesliga at 100 million euros market value. The 19-year-old standout wing from Dortmund is bound to stay with Borussia until June 2022. Rumors about the youngsters, who since July 2017 has 50 scoring points in 64 competitive games, go into signing probably with a club in the Premier League. And Sancho himself is stated that he can think about that option. I can't tell the future, but I wouldn't mind a return to the Premier League. La Liga I wouldn't mind also, but we don't know yet. And now we talk about some news in football. The first one starts with Robert Lewandowski. And he extends his contract with Bayern Munich until June 2023. The 31-year-old Polish best foreign goalscorer in German Bundesliga history joined the Bavarian side in July 2014 and has since then scored 197 goals in 246 competitive games. In almost every year, Lewandowski has been linked to different international big clubs like Real Madrid. The now new contract with Bayern is set to earn Lewandowski 20 million euros a year before taxes. And in different news, not quite so happy with Atletico Madrid is Kieran Trippier. After 5 years at White Hart Lane, he's still a little bit disappointed that the Spurs let him go. Trippier was transferred for 22 million euros from Tottenham to Atletico Madrid this summer. This is it of this week's edition of Transfermarkt TV International. Now, since deadline day is gone, it's time to look forward to enjoying the European qualifiers and to enjoying the next week's show of this format. I hope to see you then. Thank you. Bye-bye from Hamburg.